Welcome back. Heritage Academy, a private Christian school in Hagerstown, has decided it will not allow a high school senior to participate in her graduation ceremony because she is pregnant. Ron, do you feel the school's administration is justified in their decision?
I think according to the rules and regulations and their beliefs, they're probably justified. My question comes up, being justified, is that the prudent thing to do?
Well, maybe I should clarify a little bit. It's not necessarily because she became pregnant, it's because she violated the code of conduct within the school. I think that's probably, what led to this situation.
So what I'm saying, are they justified in what they're doing and what they're, carrying out that she can't graduate, like walk across the stage? I think the big thing is here, she accepted responsibility. She was president of the student body, and she was a 4.0 grade average. Did she have an issue? Yeah, she had an issue, but she addressed it. Her parents addressed the issue. And in addressing it, they determined she's not going to walk. Being a Christian and seeing a Christian academy, I think there could have been a better way to deal with the issue. If the boy would have done it and still been in school, could he have graduated? Well, is there other kids with other problems?
From what I, from what I understand, I know Jim's he's gearing to get in here. From what I understand, the boy is not a student at the school, and other students at the school have violated the code of conduct. So they were dealt with discipline of varying degrees. So Jim, I know you would like to chime in here. So what do you have to?
Yeah, I don't get this.
Okay.
I don't get this at all. I think, do they have the right to do it? Sure they do. Is it the right thing to do? No, I don't think so. I think this is a $5,000 penalty for a $50 crime. I think that graduation and walking across the stage is the culmination of 12 years of this young lady's life. And they are destroying it because they can. And I don't, so he quoted, the principal quoted a scripture about the old spare not the rod and spoil the child type of thing and all that, and you should discipline your children. Well, now I can take two things, and the code of conduct thing, that comes up too. Well, number one, she signed the code of conduct, at least at first, when she was probably in 5th grade, so that's not legally binding, so let's throw that out. Number two, they said you should discipline your children. Well, guess what? She's not a child. She's 18 years old. She is legally an adult. And number three, these guys are running and hiding at this point. They've got nothing on their website except for a letter from the principal. They supposedly, it appears, had a Facebook page. The Facebook page is offline. I see no good that comes out of this, other than this group of board members and principal getting together and doing it because they can. And I think this school is going to suffer. And by the way, the other thing, there is medical fact, that stress on a pregnant mother can be bad on the fetus. 25% more likely to have problems of sorts. And it varies by where you are in the pregnancy. But my point is, what are we doing to this baby as a result of putting this stress on this, whether you want to call her a child or an adult?
I can respect that you have your opinions on this.
What good does this do? What good does it do?
But here, let me say this part. I went to Heritage Academy. I lived with that code of conduct. Did I like the code of conduct? No. Okay. Some things on that, did I violate? Yes. Did I admit to them? No. Okay. Well, I didn't get caught.
So it's okay
was that
if you
wrong
don't
for
get
me?
caught.
Was that wrong for me? That was something that was up to me to confess and deal with. Mm-hmm. Okay. With regards to this young lady, it's re-emphasized. My wife and I dated the last 2 years of our high school. We got engaged during our junior-senior banquet, which is the equivalent of a high school prom. So we were an item. We couldn't sit together in school because we might get lustful thoughts about one another. We were teenagers. I don't think that sitting apart from one another is going to change what thoughts I might have had about my girlfriend at the time. That being said, They sat down with this young lady after it came out, and they agreed upon a course of action and penalties. Okay, if we're driving down the road and for some reason we steer off the road and we cause property damage, officer's called out. He writes a report. Officer, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to do this. Here's your ticket. You can go to court. Goes to court. Your Honor, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to get that mailbox knocked over. Sorry. Here's your fine. Here are your points on your license. Okay. There was rules established and she broke the rules. It's not the fact that she was pregnant. Okay, the pregnant was the result of breaking the rules, and that's one of the reasons why they have the abstinence provision within the code of conduct for the school. Whether you agree that it's archaic policy that the school has or not, the school stuck by their guns, and that's yielded their testimony. Okay, you may not like the testimony that they're portraying, but for as many people who have called and complained to the school, equal number of people are calling and supporting the school.
Well, I don't know whether it's equal.
Well, you know, you talked about you could go down the road on a traffic ticket. I went down the road on a traffic ticket and I ran over a mailbox. Okay, I was drunk and I paid a dear price for it. You know what? I went to court and I got probation before judgment and didn't have to go to jail.
And the alternative for this young lady was expulsion.
The alternative could be with the abstinence thing. Abstinence is one thing. It doesn't work, it's never worked, and it isn't going to work. So
Because,
that's the
as
idea.
you suggested, teenage boys, and to whatever extent, I was never a teenage girl, but teenager boys certainly think about lust.
And here's where my potential beef comes in with this, is if she would have came out beforehand, before she conceived the child, and said that she was involved in sexual activity, if she would have announced that to the school, would the school have punished her then, or would they have sought counseling for her and referred her to her parents to deal with it?
You're not going to come out and say that.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking the question.
How old did you say she was?
She's 18.
She's 18. She's an adult.
But she's still, while she's there, she has to abide. When I was at Heritage, the drinking age, when I first went to Heritage, was still 18. Okay, obviously, there were a couple kids who partake of some drink. They were suspended and ultimately expelled. When I was at Heritage, there was a young man who got a young lady pregnant. Okay, it happens. It's not a Christian school issue. It's not a public school issue. It's a teenage issue. This young man was suspended. He didn't admit to, he didn't want to, he was expelled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they couldn't expel her because they realized they would have had lawsuits coming at them like there was no tomorrow. Absolutely. They couldn't do that, and she's a 4.0 student.
In the conversation, that the way that they approached it, if you open up in the Bible that this school believes in, this school teaches from, if you open up in the Bible, the way that they dealt with this young lady was scripturally the way that they believe they should have dealt with her.
Well, they did it scripturally. There could be another scripture too that she had a problem. You help people that have problems.
And exactly. And Ron, I don't argue that point. This young lady has courage beyond courage.
You cannot, and I am going to make enemies here of my fundamentalist friends, and I am a practicing Christian, but there are some things in the Bible that you cannot interpret literally.
Okay.
There are, and I can't give you chapter and verse, but there's things in there about when you should stone your mother, and all this other stuff.
And
I mean,
Jim, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Some of it cannot be taken in a literal interpretation. What I'm saying is this young lady, and I want to give kudos to her, because she stood up under a brunt of fire.
Absolutely.
Okay? She chose to keep this child and deliver this child.
Right. She is much stronger than David Hobbs, the administrator at this school.
I agree. And I'd like to see a lot of people in the community stand behind the young lady because she did what she thought was right. And the crucifier is wrong.
Absolutely.
Well,
God, have you and I ever agreed on something?
But in my opinion, I don't think it's crucifying. I think we're talking about. I think we're talking about discipline, not the individual.
Well,
Okay.
$5,000
She graduates.
$5,000 punishment for a $50 crime.
We'll have a difference of opinion. We're going to close out on that, guys, if you're good with that.
Yeah,
all right?
let's go.
Yeah, all right. We're headed to the Fast Five. Stay tuned.